GeForce RTX pala ito. 2080. RTX to. 2080. Oo, lamig nga dyan. Punta kami. Super lamig dyan. Punta kami. Tangina. Lamig dyan. Napakasarap dyan. Nagpunta kami. Nakayala ko nga. Wala dyan. Super na yan. Masaya. Enjoy talaga ako na naman. Punta kami dyan. Magpunta kami dyan. Yung dalawa lang. Akin na ako. Yan, dalawa lang kami, tapos nandiyan kami yan. Pag anong araw na yan, pagtakan na, ano naisip ko. Alam ko dyan sa lugar na yan, tangin na. Dalawa lang din kami, putangin na, parang ano naisip ko, putangin na. Yung utak ko, putangin na. Sige, tingnan ko nga yung ping. Ito, grabe mag-FPS drop to. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. Tangan FPS ko. Dahil sa ping. RTX pala to. Pero yan. RTX to. Pinaka-RTX to. Ito, Crop Menor. Ewan. Well. Mukhang difficulty nito. God Ties. Menor. Oo, malaki yung ano yan. Nakabot na ako dyan. Tangan dyan, makakatarap. Tangin na. Putang ina. Putang ina mo. Frame loss. Tangin ang frame loss yan. Frame loss. Bakit kaya sa network? Dahil sa network. Tangin na. Grabe nga ito mga ano. Tangin na.
Final notice to Lara Croft, a current tenant of premises. This is to serve as your final notice for the purposes of terminating your ownership of Croft Manor. You are required to immediately vacate and surrender possession of said manor to Atlas de Mornay, executor of estates.
Lara, it is unfortunate that you have forced my hand in this. Matter, but so be it. As you know, your parents appointed me executor of the estate in the event of their absence. Since your mother disappeared, her death was never technically declared. And given the circumstances surrounding your father's death, it's no surprise that he never drafted a formal last will and testament to account for this circumstance. Unfortunately, you have no legal claims to the estate. I'm willing to negotiate a modest monthly stipend from your trust, but only if you leave the manor by week's end. Don't fight me on this, Lara. Your mother wouldn't want that. Sincerely, Atlas.
There has to be a will or some kind of evidence of what happened to Mum in the manor somewhere.
Manor pala.
That's safe.
Utangin na. Manor pala. Alam ko Menor. Utangin na yan.
Needs a combination. It's got to be in Dad's papers somewhere. Maybe in the library. My birthday crown. I was so proud of that thing. That's my handwriting. My penmanship was pretty good.
Tangina na. Ano kaya to? Mano.
Well, this is a hell of a thing. I met someone tonight quite unexpectedly.
Mano.
But it shouldn't have been, it seems. I've been so buried in my work, so distracted by my latest revelations, I never bothered to notice my surroundings. But there she was, sitting at my table in the library. Her name is Amelia. And apparently she's been studying right next to me. Art history, of all things. I shared some of my research against my better judgment, but I wanted to see how she would respond, and she did not disappoint. I felt as if I was suddenly engaged in a mental game of chess, moving and counter-moving in argument. At one point, that poor old librarian had to shush us as if we were children. I feel so foolish for not having noticed her earlier. She's a brilliant woman who's challenged my ideas for the first time in memory. In truth, I don't know if she's feeling as exhilarated as I am right now, but I dare say our conversation was mutually stimulating. For the first time in a long time, I find myself thinking about something else besides my research. I hope she returns for another round tomorrow.
My parents made a good team, challenging each other from the start.
Ano kaya to?
Dad would have liked me to go to Oxford, but I insisted on UCL.
Ano kaya to? Putang ina to. Ano kaya to? Putang ina to. Tangan ng pangit nun. Sapakin ko yun eh. Suntukan na lang kami. Tangina. Suntukan na lang. Tangina. Tangina. Suntukan na lang, gago.
Yep, looks real. Roth once offered to forge me a fake diploma to show Dad.
Gago. Sapakan na lang po. Gago. Suntukan na lang. Tangina. Suntukan na lang. Gago.
A picture with Dad and Anna.
Sapakan na lang, putang ina. Gago. Gusto ko kasi suntukan. Tangina. Suntukan talaga gusto ko. Suntukan ang gusto ko.
Never liked wearing dresses, but the color was nice.
Suntukan na lang, tangina. Suntukan na lang. Tangina. Hindi gusto ko sapakan. Suntukan ka talaga gusto ko.
This is probably my grandfather Benjamin.
Kaya ito mga to. Ang dami.
Dad's map of the forgotten cities of northern Syria. He was closer than he knew to finding the Prophet's tomb.
Suntukan na lang, tangina. Huwag ka na magsalita. Suntukan na lang, gago. Nahamon ko nga pala si ano, suntukan kami. Kaya, nahamon ko siya sa isang suntukan, tangina.
Dad's book about immortality myths might be useful in my research.
I finally introduced Richard to the family. It went precisely how I imagined. I see but polite grace from Mother, indifference and disinterest from father, and thinly veiled contempt from Atlas. Of course they don't approve. To them, Lord Croft is the man who took away their beloved daughter and ruined her long-standing engagement, though I was never going to marry that repugnant Earl of Farringdon anyway. One might think they would be happy that I was being courted by a genuine lord of the realm. It just happens to be Richard Croft. In their eyes, the man who single-handedly ruined a once great family. But there's nothing to be done now. Watching how Richard dealt with their subtle insults and disrespect. Such grace and calm. I know he did it for me. I think I'm falling in love with this man. It will break my mother's heart, but I cannot live the life she imagined for me. My time with Richard has only made this clearer.
It must have been hard for Mum to go against her family's wishes. I'm glad she did.
Lungkot si putang ina. Lungkot ang puta. Lungkot. Lungkot siya. Putang ina. Ano niya? Ang ina mo.
One of Dad's Yoruba masks, a gift from a friend he met on an expedition in Nigeria.
Ano kaya ito? Putang ina.
Need a combination for this lock.
Ano kaya yan? Putang ina. Prop na ano.
The door to the library.
Naantok na ako. Putang ina.
Dad's artifacts from the Nile Valley. I always loved looking at these. Dad became interested in immortality myths after his expeditions to Egypt. This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' passages.
Putang ina. Kalokohan. Kalokohan yun. Putang ina. Kalokohan yun.
Wait, I can get to the library through the old servants' corridor. Too dark. Going to need a flashlight.
Madilim daw, madilim. Putang ina yan. Kailangan niya ng flashlight. Oo, kailangan ko sabakan. Oo. Oo, sabakan. Oo, sabakan ang gusto ko. Oo, sabakan. Oo, sabakan ang gusto ko. Siya, flashlight daw. Flashlight daw ang kailangan. Ako sabakan. Hindi pwede mo napak. Pupunta ka tapos manarap na ako. Baka pwede mo napak dito. Ang ina na yan. Baka pwede mo napak dito. Tuon lang. Tuon na lang. Baka pwede mo napak.
Lara, I've reviewed the report from your therapist. I have to say I was surprised to see a clean bill of health. I somehow doubt you've so easily abandoned your irrational claims. Indeed, where have you been the past few weeks? My secretary discovered that you booked a flight to Turkey on the 20th. You can't have been simply sightseeing, as your customs claims suggest. I know you're up to something, and I'll be damned if I let you use the Croft assets to indulge the same obsession that led to my sister's death. It's not too late to relinquish your claims on the manor voluntarily. If you refuse, I will find a way to cut you off. Sincerely, Atlas.
Suntukan na lang. Tangin na ka. Suntukan na lang. Suntukan na lang. Suntukan na lang. Suntukan na lang.
Hi, Dad.
Suntukan
I've
na
been
lang.
thinking about Mum lately. I wish I knew more about her. How did you meet? What was she like? Winston told me that she was a brilliant artist. Are some of her paintings locked up in the West Wing? And I guess I just want to know, did she love me, Dad? Did she ever say that she did? Maybe I'm just being silly, but will you tell me more about her the next time I'm home from school?
Sapakan na lang. Suntukan na lang. Ano ang pinasapakan dito? Sasapakin mo bigla. Putangin na lang. Sustangin na sapakan ng putangin na.
Well, hello there, Sir Lancelot. Don't worry, you won't be boring your sword this time.
Sapakan na lang. Tangin na. Sapakan na lang. Tangin na. Tangin ng Croft Manor to.
The Grand Hall. Always loved playing in here as a kid. This will be one of the first things to fix.
Croft Manor.
A phoenix figurine. I bet this appealed to Dad's idea of immortality, of rising from the ashes and being born anew.
Kalokohan naman yan. Kalokohan naman yan. Kalokohan na putangin na. Kalokohan daw. Katarantatuan daw putangin na yan. Suntukan na lang. Suntukan.
This belongs to Anna. Most of her belongings are in the guest house. What was she doing in here?
Wala to. Examine. Tangin na yan. Kaya nga. Yan. Ano to? Ano tong putang inan to? Ha? Ano to? Sino tong putang inan to?
Someone has a sense of humor.
Putang na yan. Ano na yan? Wala to. Ano tong putang inan? Hindi niya ako putang inan. Nahanap na ako.
Lara, you know the West Wing is off limits.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to see.
We've been through this.
Was Mum's room in here?
Just stay out of there, darling.
Dad was always so protective of the West Wing.
Wala ko.
Locked. Need a key to open this.
Putang ina mo yan. Wala to. Putang ina mo yan.
What are you doing sitting there on the floor, Mistress Lara?
Looking at the compass, thinking.
What about, if I may inquire?
Just thinking about discovering faraway places, about finding adventure.
I'm sure you will, my lady. You've the soul of an explorer. But don't grow up too fast.
The offer came in the post last week, and I still haven't told Richard.
Putang ina.
He flew ahead to Tibet, where I will meet him shortly. I never told him I was submitting my work. Never thought there was a chance of being accepted.
Putang ina.
Oh, but a gallery tour is not something I can pass up.
Wala ko maintindihan.
The show will take me away from England for over a year. I'll begin in New York and travel across the United States and... Oh, God! I'm giddy even writing these words. When Richard and I were married, I was prepared to relegate my painting to a hobby, but it was Richard who objected, who gave me my atelier and studio. Without that support, I might still be painting boring landscapes. now I can't shake the foolish sensation that leaving
Sasapangan
would
na
be a
yan.
betrayal.
Buwan tangina.
He will laugh at that and insist I
Gago,
accept,
gusto ko
even
gago.
though I know it will break his heart to be apart. He never once asked me to sacrifice any part of my life for his.
Tangina.
I have, of course, in 1,000 small ways over the years, but he would never ask. The discussion can wait, and I will join him in Tibet. I won't cast a shadow over his find. I will be by his side in his triumph, as I know he will stand by my side in time.
Suntukan ang gusto ko, paano yan? Paano ba yan? Suntukan ang gusto ko, tangina. Paano ba yan? Tangina, suntukan ang gusto ko. Ano nga?
Another one of Dad's immortality artifacts. I think Roth bought this for him from a trader in Greece.
Ano kaya ito? Ouroboros. Ito ay
Lara, since your return from your expedition to Yamatai, I've grown increasingly alarmed at your erratic behavior. I can only assume you suffered some kind of psychological trauma and are only acting out as a call for help. I want you to know that I hear you, loud and clear. Anna and I agree that it's time for you to be evaluated by a professional. I took the liberty of arranging an introduction to a highly qualified colleague of mine. You should be receiving the details in the post soon. I want to impress upon you the importance of this, Lara. As executor of the estate, it is my duty to see that it is left in capable hands. And if I may be blunt, you're acting like your father when he was at his worst. He nearly lost the manor himself in those days. I'd hate for you to repeat his mistakes. I encourage you to embrace the help I'm offering. Sincerely, your uncle.
Gago, sasapakin ko yun. Sapakin ko yun. Sapak sa akin mo. Sapak. Tangina.
Hey, Jonah. Sorry for not getting back to you sooner. I've decided to do some research at the manor. A lot has happened, and I need some time to think about what I want to do next. This old place is filled with memories and secrets. Uncle Atlas has tried to keep me out of here for so long I don't even know if I want to keep it. But after everything that's happened, maybe I can find out what it still means to me, if it's worth fighting him for. I'll let you know how things worked out when I'm back in London.
Hindi, tangina. Suntukan na lang. Tangina. Ay, gago, suntukan na lang.
Got to remember to pack this for my next trip.
Flashlight gear.
Should be able to explore the dark now.
Napaka-bomba naman. Tangina. Grabe ang buko. Ang bako.
I'm not sure. I really need to brush up on my ancestors one of these days.
Buko. Napaka-buko. Napaka-buko lahat. Tangina. Buko. Tangina, lambot yun. Lambot. Tangina. Lambot yun, tangina. Luluwa yun, tangina. Iiyak ng putang ina mo. Iiyak. Tangina. Kahit siya pwedeng sapakin. Sinasabi niya. Kahit ikaw pwedeng sapakin. Kahit ikaw sasapakin kita. Ano kahit ikaw sasapakin? Ano kahit ikaw sasapakin kita? Tangina mo. Sabi ba naman, kahit ikaw sasapakin. Ano tayo? Bakit hindi naman? Kahit ikaw sasapakin. Ito lang, sapakin kita. Patindi naman ako. Sapakin kita. Wala, sapakin kita. Sapakin kita. Missing gear. Missing master. Master. Sapakin ko. Ano sapakin ko? Pangit yun, pangit yung balon. Pangit yung balon, tangin mo. Napakapangit naman. Pangit naman. Napakapangit naman. Tangin na. Alam mo, tangin na, alam mo. Mo kaya. Pangit na.
Falling apart. Maybe I should just let my uncle have this place.
Ulit siya.
They say a good test of a relationship is how well you travel together. Well, I'd say Amelia and I have passed that test with flying colors. Indeed, these last few months in Egypt have been nothing short of extraordinary. She and Roth get on like old uni chums. In fact, the two have spent more than a few nights drinking and playing cards into the wee hours. Despite her decidedly proper upbringing, Amelia's taken to roughing it more than I ever have. She fits in and connects with the local populace with such amazing empathy. Because of her, I've had a bit of an unexpected breakthrough in my research. She managed to convince an artifact dealer in Old Town to sell me a magnificent and quite unusual Tibetan scroll. From what I can tell, it seems to contain details surrounding an immortality ritual of some sort. I think it's time for me to take the next step with Amelia. In fact, I don't think I can wait any longer. I will ask for her hand tomorrow in the bright Egyptian sun amidst the dust and ruins.
Putang ina mo yan.
I'm not surprised he asked her to marry him as soon as he got the idea.
Putang ina mo yan. Putang ina mo yan. Putang ina mo. Ano kaya itong putang ina? Putang ina mo yan. Putang ina. Alam ko itong lugar nito. Putang ina mo. Putang ina mo. Ano kaya itong putang ina mo? Ano kaya itong putang ina mo?
Amelia, I know we have had our differences in recent years. I've tried my best to keep an open mind about your relationship with Richard, but I just can't let you go on this ill-conceived expedition without saying my piece. You say Richard's theories have merit. You say that he may have actually stumbled upon some mythic, unknown truth, but I have seen nothing to support such claims. And while your word may have been enough in times past, I cannot let you squander away what remains of your name and reputation, and that of our family, truth be told, on some damned foolish crusade. I intend to go to Richard's investors and let them know exactly how he's spending their money, but I want to give you a chance to put a stop to this yourself. Please, don't go to Tibet. If not for me, at least for Lara.
Still just as creepy as I remember.
Nakita na lugar to. Putang na puzzle na. Ito na. Masakit na sa utak ko. Tulugan na to. Putang na. Tulugan mo na to. Mag-iisip na naman ako putang ina. Puzzle na naman. Putang ina. Gusto ko na lang. Gusto ko na lang kaya, no? Gusto ko na lang. Ako kalaba. Gusto ko na lang. Kung ako sasapahan.
My lord, I hope this missive finds you on a successful expedition and in good health. Before I bore you with estate affairs, I wanted to let you know that our little angel has been into some mischief. As always, I indulged her in our usual game of chess. Over the course of the game, she broached the subject of her mother. She's having trouble remembering her now, and wanted to enter her ladyship's atelier, which you sealed off, to play on her mother's piano. It enraged her when she wasn't allowed to go in, of course. For someone so young, she has such strong emotions. Later in the day, she set a trap for me in the walk-in freezer, of all places. Before I knew what was happening, I found myself locked inside. Mrs. Sheffield discovered me an hour later, shivering and somewhat peeved. It took us an additional hour to find Lara in the grounds. I know all her hiding places, of course, but this time she really did not want to be found. Call it years of observation, but I can tell when she's out of sorts. My lord, if I may be so bold, she misses you fiercely. She is lonely for her father. Please consider a call as soon as you are able.
Poor Winston. I remember being so angry. He was always so patient with me.
King to Queen 1. I'm going to win this time, Winston.
Clever girl. But you should know by now, winning isn't everything. Queen to King's Bishop 6. Check.
Easy.
I would play chess with our old butler Winston on this board. Never could beat him.
Chess ang putang ina. Katarantatuhan ng putang ina. Kalokohan ng putang ina. Putang ina chess. Katarantatuhan yan. Chess ang putang ina. Chess ang putang ina. Kalokohan ng putang ina. Magsapakan tayo yan, mga ina. Chess ang putang ina.
I always chose white. Maybe if I let him go first once in a while, I might have won.
Putang ina nga yan. Suntukan na lang. Putang ina nga. Putang ina nga yan.
To say, you always win. Knight takes queen.
What I mean to say is try to enjoy the journey, Lara. Don't rush to victory. Bishop to King 7.
I know, Winston. I just want... Oh no! I didn't even see that.
You should also know by now, I'm not to be trifled with on this board, young lady. Mate.
Hindi ako susuntukan eh. Suntukan na lang. Suntukan na.
I'm at a crossroads now. Good Lord, that's such a cliche. But there's truth in it. Two roads before me. Both present joy and compromise. A life with Richard, adventure, intellectual pursuit, perhaps a new family. But also a man obsessed with something I cannot understand. Or a life of obligation, upholding the De Mornay name, embracing our traditions,